Car. Out of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car.
Medic 7 back in service, 1828.
Get out of the car. Then get out. No, then get out.
Get out of the car.
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 Shots fired.
Shots fired. Stop the car. Stop.
Breaking news, a jury has acquitted a former Ohio police officer who shot and killed a pregnant woman in a confrontation over alleged shoplifting. The 21-year-old was accused of shoplifting when Officer Connor Grubb approached her car. He says her car then rolled towards him and he shot in self-defense.
A Kroger parking lot, a pregnant mother, a shoplifting accusation, and in less than 60 seconds, 2 lives would be gone. Kiya Young was 21 years old, 7 months pregnant, and sitting in her car when police approached her. What happened next was captured on Bodycam footage that would shock a nation.
A female is hallucinating. Too much of a loss for attend.
Out of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car. Out of the car.
Medic 7 back in service, 1828.
Get out of the car. Then get out. No, then get out.
Get out of the car.
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 Shots fired.
Shots fired. Stop the car. Stop the car.
We're going to have a 44 on the couple now. He's going to be at 10 to 29, 3705 Managua, 3705.
What's that?
Female is hallucinating. Too much of a loss for attend.
Hey, stop. Hey, out of the car. 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 They said you stole stuff, do not leave. Get out of the car. Then get out. No, then get out. Get out of the car. Get out of the car!
The video shows officers yelling, Kiya protesting her innocence, and then a question that still echoes, "Are you going to shoot me?" The answer came in the form of a single bullet through her windshield. But here's what makes this case even more disturbing. A witness later came forward claiming Kiya never stole anything. The bottles she was accused of taking, left in the store, and yet she died anyway. Her unborn daughter died anyway. And the officer who pulled the trigger, he walked away a free man. Kiya Young was a mother of 2 boys, ages 8 and 5. She was building a life for them in Columbus, Ohio, working, raising them, and preparing to welcome a baby girl into the world. Her grandmother, Nadine Young, watched Kiya grow into the woman she was, watched her become a mother. Nadine knew Kiya wasn't perfect. Nobody is. But she also knew her granddaughter didn't deserve what was coming. The evening of August 24th, 2023, Kiya drove to the Kroger on Sunbury Road in Blendon Township, a Columbus suburb. She parked her 4-door Lexus in a handicapped spot. The car had no license plate. She went inside. A Kroger employee believed they witnessed theft. They called it in. Officers who were already in the area responded immediately. Within minutes, Kiya was back at her car. Officers were approaching. And what should have been a simple conversation about alleged shoplifting was about to become something deadly. Officer Connor Grubb and another officer approached Kiya's Lexus. She was sitting in the driver's seat. The window was partially down. The body cam footage captures everything. "Get out of the car," one officer says. Kiya doesn't move. "For what?" "They said you stole stuff. Do not leave." Kiya denied it. She protested. She wasn't cooperating, but she wasn't being violent either. She was sitting in her car, talking, denying the accusation. That's when things escalated. Officer Grubb moved to the front of her vehicle. He positioned himself directly in front of the car, his left hand on the hood, his right hand holding his gun, pointed directly at Kiya through the windshield. Both officers started cursing at her. yelling, demanding she get out. Kiya's voice can be heard on the body cam, confused, scared. "Are you going to shoot me?" Officer Grubb didn't answer. He kept his gun trained on her. Kiya was 7 months pregnant. You could see it. But later in court, the defense would argue that Officer Grubb didn't know, that it didn't factor into his decision. Kiya turned the steering wheel to the right, put on her turn signal. The car began to roll forward, slowly, not speeding, rolling, and he fired. The sound of the gunshot rips through the air, one single bullet, fired through the windshield, straight into Kiya Young's chest. The car continues rolling until it crashes gently into the wall of the shopping center. Officers rush forward. They break the driver's side window. Kiya is slumped over, blood spreading across her shirt. She's dying. Her baby is dying. The officers pull her out. They lay her on the pavement. Officer Grubb applies a chest seal to her wound. EMS is called. They're trying to save her now, but the damage is done. Kiya Young is rushed to St. Anne's Hospital. Doctors work on her. They try everything. The bullet has done too much damage. She's pronounced dead. Her unborn daughter, gone too. 2 lives, ended in a grocery store parking lot, over an accusation of stealing alcohol. Officer Connor Grubb was placed on paid administrative leave. He'd been with the Blendon Township Police Department since 2019. He gave a written statement saying he felt the car hit his legs, that it began to lift his body off the ground, that he feared for his life. But witnesses told a different story. They saw a car rolling slowly. They heard yelling. They saw a gun, and then they heard the shot. And then came the revelation that changed everything. Attorney Sean Walton, representing Kiya's family, found a witness, someone who saw Kiya put down bottles of alcohol as she left the grocery store. She hadn't stolen anything. She died over a crime she never committed. The family filed a civil lawsuit against Blendon Township, the police department, and Kroger. They wanted answers. They wanted accountability. They wanted justice for Kiya and her unborn daughter. Nearly a year after Kiya's death, Officer Connor Grubb was charged with murder, involuntary manslaughter, and felonious assault. The trial forced difficult questions. Was deadly force justified? Did Grubb reasonably fear for his life when the car rolled forward slowly? Could he have stepped aside instead of firing? The prosecution argued that Grubb had options. He could have moved. He could have de-escalated. He chose to shoot a pregnant woman through her windshield instead. The defense painted a different picture. They said Grubb was in danger, that the car was a weapon, that he had seconds to make a life-or-death decision. The jury deliberated. And on November 21st, 2025, they delivered their verdict, not guilty, on all charges. Kiya Young's 2 sons are being raised by their great-grandmother, Nadine. They're growing up without their mother, without their baby sister. The boys are 8 and 5 years old now, old enough to understand what they've lost, old enough to ask questions that have no good answers. A jury said Officer Grubb committed no crime, but Kiya is still gone. Her daughter is still gone. And a family is still shattered. The question remains, did it have to happen? Could a pregnant mother's life have been saved over bottles of alcohol she may have never even stolen? Those answers died with Kiya Young in a Kroger parking lot.
Find the defendant not guilty of murder as charged in count 3 of the indictment.
Right now at 5, not guilty read 6 times in the murder trial for Blendon Township police officer Connor Grubb.
The verdict leaving the family of Kiya Young devastated, her grandmother there being helped out of the courtroom.
Took a life on duty and then realized another's life after the fact. And to walk around with that and that is a difficult situation.
And despite the verdict, Connor Grubb's attorney detailing the heavy toll this years-long case has taken on the officer and his family. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Jessica Ralston.
And Mike McCarthy. The jury began deliberating the case on Wednesday afternoon, and the verdict was returned just before 11 a.m. today. We have live team coverage tonight.
Rodney Dunnigan leading us off from the Franklin County Courthouse.
Jessica and Mike, it has been a very emotional day here at the Franklin County Courthouse. The verdict leaving the family of Kiya Young in tears. Her grandmother, Nadine, had to be helped out of the courtroom, and she screamed in the hallway that Officer Grubb killed Young and her unborn baby. Just after that outburst, Officer Grubb was released and walked out of the courtroom a free man. Steve Levine has been in the courtroom every step of the way in this trial. Steve, tell us about that moment.
Well, Rodney, both families, even jurors, very emotional when that verdict was read that Blendon Township Police Officer Connor Grubb had been acquitted on all charges. A courtroom full of emotion as Blendon Township Police Officer Connor Grubb is found not guilty on all charges in the shooting death of Kiya Young. Young's grandmother falls to the floor yelling it's not right. Grubb hugging his wife before leaving the courtroom.
It's a relief. I mean, they've lived this every single day for the last 2 years as well, and so they're relieved that justice was served.
They've made their decision, and whether or not the state agrees with it is irrelevant. It's the jury's decision. They spoke.
The jury taking 6.5 hours to find Grubb not guilty on 2 charges each of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and felonious assault.
We're very thankful for the service of the jurors, and it's an impossible situation that they're put in. We believe that they followed the law.
Grubb's defense team telling jurors Grubb shot Young in her car in self-defense when Young's car came into contact with Grubb when he and a sergeant tried to stop Young after she shoplifted liquor from a Kroger store. Special prosecutors from Montgomery County contending the fatal shooting was not justified.
That's how our system works, and that's our job as special prosecutors, was essentially to come in here and make sure the jury got a full presentation of the evidence and the facts.
And while this criminal case is over, Grubb's attorney saying the deadly shooting will always stay with Grubb.
He feels he took a life on duty and realized another's life after the fact. And to walk around with that and that is a difficult situation.
And Rodney, Grubb's legal obstacle still not over. He also has been named in a civil suit filed by the family.
All right, thank you, Steve. Let's take a detailed look back at this case. It has been in the headlines now for more than 2 years. This all started back on August 24th of 2023 in the parking lot of that Kroger store in Blendon Township. Officer Connor Grubb shot Young as she was trying to get away after being caught on camera stealing bottles of liquor from that store. Officer Grubb was bumped by her car, and that's when he opened fire. It would be an entire year before Officer Grubb would face any charges in this case. He was indicted by a grand jury in August of 2024 on charges of murder, felony assault, and also involuntary manslaughter. Then about 2 weeks ago, the trial started, leading to today's verdict. Now, this case has built up a lot of emotion, and not just for the families of Kiya Young as well as Officer Connor Grubb, but for the entire community, including members of this jury. Isabel Hansen following that side of the story for us tonight. And Isabel, you could actually feel the emotion thick in the air today.
Yes, Rodney. Connor Grubb's wife silently cried in the courtroom after jurors found him not guilty. The wails of Kiya Young's grandmother, Nadine, echoed through the court hallway as friends and family surrounded her to provide support.
Mr. Grubb, you're...
An outburst of emotion after a long 2+ years.
I think we all felt that emotion in real time, and that was the culmination of what they have dealt with for over 2 years.
Throughout that time, Kiya Young's grandmother, Nadine, had hope.
They believed that there would be a conviction. I mean, up until the moment that the words were read, there was no doubt that there would be a conviction.
After the judge read the words not guilty, Young, visibly distraught, did not speak with the media, but her attorney, Sean Walton, did. 2 lives were lost. It's not just about Kiya. It's an unborn daughter that does not get to step foot on this earth. And you have sons who grew up without their mother, and it's just heartbreaking. Since August of 2023 and throughout the trial, Walton says Young's grandmother always fell back on her faith.
It's kept Miss Nadine going throughout this time. I think every interview she's given, she's talked about her faith in God and believing that things will work out in their favor. And so the hope is that they can find the meaning in this. I mean, I think in this moment, it's tough.
During the trial, the defense attorneys called Young's death a tragedy, and police union president Brian Steele says he feels the same.
This verdict reaffirms what we have been saying from day one. This incident was tragic, but it was preventable.
For Steele, he says justice was served.
Don't let the noise of the race baiters, the ambulance chasing attorneys, or the academics getting paid $600 an hour to try to convince you. They clearly could not convince the jury that, and I applaud that.
It's just heartbreaking to know that the family has to deal with this in this moment, but we'll keep fighting.
As for what's next for Connor Grubb, his attorneys say they're taking it one day at a time. Rodney?
All right, thank you, Isabel. And tonight we're also hearing from the police chief of Blendon Township. Officer Grubb has been on leave since this shooting. Now, Chief John Belford released a statement saying, in part, this was a tragic event. Our township has refrained from making any statements about Connor Grubb's actions to not interfere with the legal process. He says he will recommend that trustees put Officer Connor Grubb back on paid leave. He will also be meeting with the local FOP to discuss the next steps in the department's administrative process. Now, here's what we know about the jury in this case. It started out with 8 women and 4 men. One of them had to be excused after the first day of deliberations because they had to go to the hospital. So the jury that delivered today's verdict was made up of 9 women and 3 men. Out of those 12 people, 1 person was black. Now, this case is not over just yet. The estate of Kiya Young has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Kroger as well as Officer Connor Grubb. Now, the lawsuit was filed in August in Franklin County Common Pleas Court. It names Grubb, Kroger, as well as that Kroger employee as defendants in this case. Attorneys for the family argue that this altercation should not have escalated. The lawsuit also accuses Officer Grubb of violating the township's own policies by standing in front of Young's vehicle. Now, this case has also created a divide between some members of this community and law enforcement. Listen to what Sean Walton, the attorney for Kiya Young's family, as well as Brian Steele, the president of the local FOP, had to say.
You see time and time again, they speak out for the bad apples, so to speak. The folks who are doing good work, who, deserve that representation. I think, they'd rather get out and try to make a stand despite what the facts show. And so it makes it difficult. We can't negotiate with terrorists.
What upsets me as a peace officer is the reality. About 90% of our victims in this town, roughly, are of color. Roughly 75% of the known suspects in violent crimes in this town are of color. When one of them are shot, I don't hear anything, right? When the government shoots you, when the police shoot you, when Kroger's involved, it's almost like vultures, right? Looking for deep pockets, looking to sue. I don't care about a fancy suit, a sharp vernacular. I serve the people of Columbus.
Coming up all new tonight at 6, I'm sitting down and having a one-on-one conversation about these statements with both men and getting insight on where this community can go from here.
We, the jury, upon our oaths and law and evidence in this case, find the defendant not guilty of felonious assault.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Your shots fired. Shots fired. Stop.
Not guilty of murder as charged.
Stop. Stop.
We, the jury, upon our oaths and law and evidence in this case, find the defendant not guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
The verdict coming down just before 11 this morning. Connor Grubb not guilty on all counts in the death of Kiya Young. Her family very upset in the courtroom as the verdict was read.
Grubb, a Blendon Township police officer, shot her when she drove forward in her car trying to get away from questions about stolen liquor. The jury saying he was justified.
Young's entire interaction with police on that day in August of 2023 was just 35 seconds. The jury took about a day to come up with a decision. Now, we, of course, have been telling you since just before 11 about the jury's decision, not guilty on all counts. Tonight, following the verdict, emotions are running high, and the divide between the community and police is on full display.
Had Miss Young followed officers' instructions, had she would have obeyed the commands, she likely would not have escalated this situation. I think she was a 21-year-old woman who made a terrible, terrible mistake. That mistake started when she chose to shoplift. It escalated when she ignored the store security and when she ignored the officer's commands and struck the officer with a car.
What's difficult is that the FOP, they don't actually represent the majority of police officers. They say they do because they're the police union. But you see time and time again, they speak out for the bad apples, so to speak. We can't negotiate with terrorists.
I sat down one-on-one with Young family attorney Sean Walton and FOP President Brian Steele as both sides push back on each other's views on trust, accountability, and policing here in Central Ohio. As word spread about Officer Connor Grubb's not guilty verdict, frustration and relief collided, underscoring what's become a growing tug-of-war over policing here in Central Ohio.
We fight for this to stop. We fight for change in the system, and it only comes from holding bad actors accountable.
Sean Walton, the attorney for the family of Kiya Young, sitting down with us Friday. He says the verdict isn't just about one officer. It's about a policing system he says resists accountability.
Yeah, in a case like this, you just hope that you can see some justice, and I think that across the country, those who felt like this was wrong, I think we're all a little hurt right now.
But FOP President Brian Steele, who also sat with us after the verdict, sees it differently, saying Walton's criticism paints an unfair picture of officers who face real threats.
Policing is sometimes ugly. There are times you have to discharge your weapon. The chances of discharging a weapon, it's a very low probability that you will, but very high impact.
Walton argues that message sends the opposite signal, that officers won't be held accountable.
I have a real issue with the way they come out and speak about this, because it's never about the facts. It's about trying to keep people from piercing that blue line.
Steele pushes back, saying the FOP isn't defending every action of officers, just the ones they believe are justified. In this case, stressing Officer Connor Grubb thought his life was on the line.
We do not think Officer Grubb started this incident. We think it was a reaction to Mrs. Young's actions, which she went down a series of bad decisions that ended us.
And for him, do you think that he kind of thought his life was in danger in this situation?
Well, he 100% thought his life was in danger. If you looked at the evidence, he was hit by a vehicle and he responded.
As the dust from Friday's verdict settles, the gap between the community and police seems only to widen. Both Walton and Steele say they want safer communities, but they remain sharply divided on how to get there. And the future of policing here in Central Ohio remains a debate far from settled. Now, this is certainly a conversation that is only gaining intensity. We will continue to follow reaction from the Young family and the FOP, as well as city leaders, as this story develops. Steve Levine has been following this trial since the start of that jury selection. Steve, this verdict came in shortly after they came back from a break.
And Rodney, both families very emotional, including jurors when that verdict was announced, that Blendon Township Police Officer Connor Grubb had been acquitted on all charges.
We, the jury, upon our oaths and law and evidence in this case, find the defendant not guilty of murder as charged in count 3 of the indictment.
As Judge David Young reads the charges, finding Blendon Township Police Officer Connor Grubb not guilty in the shooting death of Kiya Young, the courtroom fills with emotion. Young's grandmother falls to the floor yelling, "It's not right." Grubb hugging his wife before they walk out of the courtroom.
They wanted us to express their thanks to the community, to the support that they've gotten, and they understand the other side. They understand the frustration, the sorrow, and the pain that Ms. Young's family feels.
There's no surprise there's emotions involved, as there should be. They've lost their daughter, their granddaughter, family member, who's not going to come back.
The jury taking 6.5 hours to find Grubb not guilty on 2 counts each of murder, involuntary manslaughter, and felonious assault.
It has restored my faith in the Franklin County jury system, that jurors can actually follow the law.
They've made their decision, and whether or not the state agrees with it is irrelevant. It's the jury's decision. They spoke to that.
Special prosecutors from Montgomery County contended the fatal shooting was not justified. Grubb's defense team telling jurors Grubb shot Young in her car in self-defense when Young's car came into contact with Grubb when he and a sergeant tried to stop her after she shoplifted liquor from a Kroger store. And Grubb is still facing some legal challenges. He has been named in a civil suit by Young's family. Rodney?
All right, thank you, Steve. And Isabel Hansen reminds us there's still 2 more officers to learn their fates in cases that we have also been following for years. Isabel.
Yes, that's right, Rodney. The retrial of former Franklin County Deputy Jason Meade and the trial of former Columbus police officer Ricky Anderson. Anderson's charged with murder and reckless homicide, accused of killing 20-year-old Donovan Lewis in August of 2022. At the time, officers were serving a felony warrant. Body camera video shows Anderson opening a bedroom door and firing a single shot, which killed Lewis. Police told us Lewis was not armed, and they found a vape pen lying on the bed next to him. As for former Deputy Jason Meade, he is charged in the December 2020 shooting of Casey Goodson Jr. Meade's first trial ended with a hung jury in February of last year. Meade was working on a federal task force back when this shooting happened, but it wasn't focused on Goodson. Meade said he saw Goodson drive by and point a gun at him, so he followed him back to the house, confronting him while he was going inside. Meade says he thought Goodson was carrying a gun at the time and shot him in the back 5 times. Goodson's family says he was carrying a sandwich and keys. We spoke with the defense and Young's family attorneys about what today's verdict means for future police officer murder cases in Franklin County.
We've had a conviction, fortunately, in one of these cases, Adam Coy. We had a conviction, and we're hopeful that the truth of that case will bleed over into these other cases. Unfortunately, it didn't happen here.
Everything is case specific. So, I mean, I'm hopeful. It has restored my faith in the Franklin County jury system, that jurors can actually follow the law. And so that's what we'll be pushing here on out.
Unlike the Grubb case, there is no body camera footage to see what actually happened before Meade shot Goodson. The state and Goodson's family say he never turned around for Meade because he was wearing headphones at the time. Goodson did have a permit for a gun. Meade's next court hearing is scheduled for December 8th. Anderson is expected back in court this coming March. Rodney?
Isabel Hansen on your side tonight. Thank you very much, Isabel. And the criminal portion of this case is closed now, but that just means that the civil cases can start. Young's family is suing the Blendon Township Police Department, Kroger, and Officer Grubb in a civil lawsuit. We have not heard when that is set to go to court. If you want to catch up on any part of this case, just download the ABC6 app. It is always free. Just search WSYX ABC6 in your app store.
Thank you for watching the ABC6 News YouTube channel, bringing you breaking news, stories, sports, and original content throughout Central Ohio. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe as well so you don't miss out. ABC6 News is on your side.